What is going on, my people? We are finally back again, bro. Hope everyone's doing absolutely fantastic. You done know already, fam. Your Gals favorite is back again, bro. Here to preview everything that there is to preview for Matchday 31 in the Premier League. Some of the topics that we will cover in this video include Aston Villa, who will be taking on Newcastle. We also have Chelsea taking on Brighton, Arsenal taking on West Ham, and Man City taking on Leicester. We're also very briefly going to touch on Champions League and Europa League action. If any of that does interest you, please stick around. But anyways, fam, without further ado, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend, and let's get it cracking, bro. So Matchday 31 does, of course, kick off on Saturday, April 15th, when Aston Villa take on Newcastle. Both teams have been very good in the last few weeks. Aston Villa, they've got Ollie Watkins, fam. He's been amazing, fam, as of recently. And yeah, both done well in their last games. Aston Villa getting the clean sheet against Nottingham Forest, 2-0 win for them. And then Newcastle winning Brentford 2-1. That was a good performance as well. I'm very split as to who can get the 3 points. Newcastle, for very obvious reasons, they can win this game. And Aston Villa, I think just based on how they've been doing recently, and Ollie Watkins, I think they can also get the 3 points. But again, like I mentioned, I am very split. Maybe Newcastle ever so slightly are my favorites, but I think this game will end in a draw. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this game. However, if Aston Villa does go on to get the 3 points in this game, I think it'll be massive for them, and I think questions need to be raised of whether or not they can get into one of those positions to potentially play in Europe next season. We then head over to St. Mary's Stadium, where Southampton will take on Crystal Palace. Southampton getting slapped up against Man City in their last game, and then Crystal Palace, they slapped up Leeds United in their last game. Crystal Palace, that was probably one of their best performances of the season, not their best performance of the season so far. Yeah, I have no doubts of Crystal Palace getting 3 points. I think they'll do their thing. Southampton, I don't know, fam. I really don't see them even getting a draw out of this game. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Crystal Palace. After that, we head over to Goodison Park, where Everton will take on Fulham. Everton, I think they let themselves down massively in their last game against Man United. They never had a clue. They never turned up. And then Fulham, I don't get how they didn't get at least a draw in their last game against West Ham. They also let themselves down massively, which is why this should be a very interesting game, because both these teams, they need to dust themselves off after those dusty performances. So with that being said, as much as I do feel this is going to be a very leveled game, Everton for me are slightly my favorites. That's why I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Everton in this game. We then head over to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where Tottenham will take on Bournemouth. Both teams done well to get the 3 points in their last game. Tottenham, they saw out their game against Brighton. Brilliant goals from Kane and Son. And then Bournemouth, Billing got himself a goal after that defensive error from Leicester City. Yeah, I am very split as to who can get the 3 points. I think if this was an away game for Tottenham, I would have said Bournemouth for me, get the 3 points, no questions asked. But yeah, I don't know. Bournemouth might turn up from this. I am, playing on the idea that they're not very good away from home. Yeah, I'm not sure, but my gut tells me that this might be a good match. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. After that, we head over to the Molineux Stadium, where Wolves will be taking on Brentford. Wolves, of course, getting those emphatic 3 points against Chelsea in their last game after Nunes scored a fantastic half volley. Brentford, as I already mentioned, they lost their last game against Newcastle, fam. Didn't really show too much in that game, in my opinion. This should be very interesting to see what happens, fam. Wolves, in recent weeks, they've been able to scrape points, fam. How they've done it, I'm not sure, because their performances have not been all that, but they've just been managing to scoop up points, fam. It's absolutely insane. And I can't lie, it's because of that Wolves are slightly my favorites going into this game. However, as much as I do favor Wolves, I think this might be a snooze fest. I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw in this game. We then head over to Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea will be taking on Brighton. Cucurella coming up against his former club, fam. Should be very interesting. Chelsea in their last game against Wolves was absolutely disappointing, and in the midweek, fam, in the Champions League, they faced Real Madrid at Santiago Bernabeu, and yeah, not a good performance, fam. I think they held on. They were holding on for their lives, just playing very defensively. Never looked like an attacking threat. But for them, honestly, at least in my opinion, for them to lose the game 2-0, I mean, that does mean they have a chance in the second leg. It was kind of considering they were playing with one man less for like what, 20 minutes or so. That was pretty impressive to see them, you know, not go down like 4-0, 5-0. I thought that was very impressive depending on how you look at it. I think Brighton are definitely going to go into this game wanting a win. They were unfortunate in their last game against Spurs because, as I mentioned in my last video, they were just too much too late. I think they have a chance of getting at Chelsea just because of, you know, how poor Chelsea is at the moment. They do have a chance, but should be a very split game, fam. I do kind of feel it is for either side. Well, with Brighton being my favorites ever so slightly, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this game. The last and final fixture on Saturday for Matchday 31 in the Premier League is, of course, Man City taking on Leicester City at the Etihad Stadium. This might be interesting, fam. I know Leicester City isn't on the best of form, but I think this might be interesting, fam. Man City, they've done well in their last, or did okay in their last Premier League game. Didn't do much in the first half of that game, but they came alive in the second half. And in the Champions League, they absolutely put Bayern Munich in a spliff, bro, beating them 3-0. Serge Gnabry and then Kingsley Coman, they were absolutely pocketed by Nathan Ake, bro. Leicester City, on the other hand, they didn't do well in their last game against Bournemouth, losing 1-0 from that defensive error. For them not to at least get a draw out of the game is very telling of, you know, what they've been on about as of recently. So with that being said, I have no doubts of Man City winning this game. I actually do think they'll blow Leicester City away. I'm going to go for a 4-1 win for Man City. It does seem like a hefty scoreline, but I see a lot of goals coming from this game. I just think City win it. All in all, I do think City win it, and yeah, I'm going to go for a 4-1 win for Man City. Heading into Sunday, we do have West Ham taking on Arsenal at the London Stadium. Arsenal are definitely my favorites going into this game, and they need these 3 points after dropping points in their last game at Anfield against Liverpool, one of the best games that we've seen this season. What a fantastic game that was. But yeah, Arsenal, they need these points desperately, but West Ham also need these points desperately, fam. They want to stay up. They want to, you know, at least make their season seem okay, not like an absolute failure. Yeah, they kind of are on a little bit of a run too. They've won their last 2 games. So, I don't know, fam. Maybe West Ham turn up for this. Who knows, fam. But Arsenal are definitely my favorites. I do think they'll get the 3 points. Yeah, fam. This is where it starts, fam. Arsenal, they need to win all the remaining fixtures. So with that being said, I am going to go for a 2-0 win for the Arsenal in this game. A clean sheet on the road. And just to add to, you know, what I said about Arsenal needing to win the remaining fixtures, as much as they need to win the remaining fixtures, the one game that stands out to me the most is that game at the Etihad Stadium when they play Man City in like 2 weeks or so. That one is still in the back of my mind of, you know, I kind of feel Arsenal won't win that game. The last and final fixture on Sunday for Matchday 31 in the Premier League is, of course, Nottingham Forest taking on Man United. I'll tell you guys right now, I definitely feel Nottingham Forest can and will get something from this game, fam. Nottingham Forest, they did let themselves down in their last game, though, against Aston Villa, losing 2-0. But the defense was an absolute mess, fam. Just like the attack wasn't good. Defense was disgusting. And then Man United, they done okay in their last game. They won 2-0. They should have scored more goals, though. They definitely should have scored more goals. So with that being said, I did mention that Nottingham Forest would get something out of this game. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, for whatever reason, when the big teams go up to their place, they just turn up, fam, and they manage to scrap away a goal, fam. If they don't win the game 1-0, I think it'll at least be like a 1-1 draw or something. I genuinely don't think Nottingham Forest will lose this game. I think they will get something out of this game. The last and final fixture to conclude Matchday 31 in the Premier League comes on Monday when Leeds United take on Liverpool. Leeds United, as I already mentioned, got slapped up in the last game against Crystal Palace, losing 5-1. And as for Liverpool, they drew their last game against Arsenal 2-2, as I did already mention. Liverpool in that second half of that game done well. I thought they were the best team in that second half and they dominated. So I think if they do a similar thing from that second half, make some similar changes with like Thiago and Firmino, maybe they can get something out of this game. I know going up to Leeds is always a tough task, but I think Liverpool can at least get something out of this game. At least a draw, fam. If they lose, it's going to be shocking but not surprising. So with that being said, as much as I do favor Liverpool to get something out of this game, I am going to go for a Leeds United win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Leeds United. Something last minute, something controversial I feel will happen in this game. and Leeds United scraped the 3 points past Liverpool. But anyways, fam, I hope you liked it. Enjoy. If you did, like always, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend. Let me know in the comments down below what player's going to play the best, what team's going to play the best, what match you're looking forward to the most. And also, we did have Champions and Europa League action, fam, which was pretty interesting. That City versus Bayern game was a bit enjoyable to watch. I enjoyed seeing Leroy Sané coming back to the Etihad Stadium, and I thought he had himself a good game. He was trying absolutely everything in his locker, but unfortunately, he couldn't get a goal. And unfortunately, Sadio Mane decides to punch him, bro. Like, what is that about? Absolutely disgusting. For me, I just don't see why. You know, violence is never the answer for anything. I don't care how pissed you are. Really, really dumb. In the Europa League, I thought it was very interesting to see Man United tying with Sevilla 2-2. 2 own goals from Man United. I think this puts their, whole Europa League tie in jeopardy, fam. I think they might get eliminated in the second leg. They should have capitalized in this game since they were Old Trafford and gotten a win, but yeah, they fell short, fam. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Champions in Europa League in the comments down below. But anyways, fam, as always, I hope everyone's doing absolutely fantastic, and I will see you guys soon.